Most people would be best served by just eating a very high protein, balanced diet. Hey everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And I make this statement as someone who has observed all the trends in the so-called fitness industry, all the different diet trends, the fad diets over the decades. Again, I'm 47 years old. I've been in this game over 25 years. Been putting out fitness content for over 12 years online. I've been a full-time coach for quite a few years. So for me, I see all of these crazy trends, and I would say to most people, realistically, if you're just trying to get fit and in shape, lose body fat, gain some muscle, look good, right? Look good. And all these other things that honestly, all you really should need to do at this point is just eat a very high protein diet. Make sure you get lots of vegetables in there, plenty of plants, and kind of keep some idea of your calories. And I go so far as to say that unless we're chasing very specific body weights and body composition goals, I don't think people even need to track their calories crazy close. Meaning, in other words, as long as you are not actively say, look, I need to eat more to bulk, okay? And if you're eating a clean, balanced diet and your protein is very, very high, particularly if you start eating large amounts of protein, most people are going to lose body fat, okay? If you're active and you're lifting weights, and again, I want to be clear, unless you're trying to get very, very lean, and again, unless maybe you have a completely sedentary job, for most people, they're going to get leaner just eating a high protein diet. Again, when I say high protein, I'm talking exceeding 1 gram per pound of body weight, getting way up there. Again, eating the amount of proteins that aren't even necessary if you're building muscle anymore. I'm talking eating the amount of proteins that are more associated with recomposition, with fat loss. But again, if you're just forcing tons of protein, and then everything else you eat is mostly balanced, occasionally a cheat meal here and there. And I go so far as to say that, yeah, you can have cheat meals, okay? They just can't be all the time. But a once a week cheat meal, as long as it's just one big meal, particularly you could do something like fast first or do it on your leg day every week. It's probably not going to cause most people harm, because when you look at the net total effect, you may not be creating any sort of weekly surplus out of it. Again, back in the context of if you're eating very high protein. Again, at that point, it is very, very hard for people to gain body fat while forcing down tons of protein. We've seen this in the literature. It is extremely difficult, and most people lose body fat. And if someone, again, is being physically active, they're going to lose body fat doing this. If you're at a higher body weight, you're just starting out. If you just start lifting weights and start trying to hit those high protein numbers, like I said, exceeding 1 gram per pound of body weight, it's okay. So if you're obese, that's going to be an even higher amount. Most people are going to start losing body fat. Again, particularly if your focus is on eating a significant amount of vegetables every single day. Right? That's kind of a winning combination. And I would say if those needs are met, until we start getting to the extremes, maybe even the point where I'm at and moving forward, you may not need to think about all these other things. People get so caught up in all this other nonsense. I mean, I see people really worrying about things that are completely absurd. Like if you think inflammation, like, oh, my diet causes some inflammation, therefore it's slowing down my body fat. Well, that's just not true. If you have an intolerance of a food, like an intolerance as far as a gastrointestinal intolerance, it is absolutely not going to impede fat loss. If anything, it does the opposite. Like severe intolerances to foods cause you to start losing weight. That's one of the problems with it. It might not be so bad for someone who's obese, but someone who's quite thin, they can be deadly, okay? Because they can cause malnutrition and starvation. So that's what people forget with those intolerances. They start worrying about that. They're worrying about lectins in foods. They're worried about anti-nutrients. Things like this, my God. Like if you really think that is even remotely a factor in weight loss, you're completely ignoring basic biology. And again, I've done countless videos on why those things are not major issues and how to counter them. But even in a situation where they are, if these are things that are causing you to malabsorb nutrients or to defecate them out undigested, that is going to cause fat loss, not fat gain. Sorry, nonsense. People who feel they have to cut all carbohydrates out of their diet. I mean, I get it. If you want to cut all refined sugars out, that's a smart move. But carbohydrates themselves, it's silly. Someone who needs to cut out all animal products, I mean, I'll be the first to say saturated fat, probably not the best thing you could be eating for health or fat loss. I think we all agree there. But the idea that leaner animal products, oh no, that's ludicrous. That's insane. The data shows the opposite. Extremely high protein intakes cause fat loss. They tend to cause fat loss if your protein gets high enough. It's almost impossible for people to not lose body fat. So again, that's a ludicrous idea. Or people who are like, not eating vegetables. Again, this is silliness. This is silliness. None of these things are going to help you lose body fat. In fact, people are sitting here cutting out foods that may actually help them lose body fat in the name of these fad diets. Then, of course, I think the worst one is the flexible dieting. Oh, as long as you hit your calories, you can work in whatever junk food you want. Now, that's going to be the hardest thing in the world to follow. That's actually a problem, because I would say if you cut the junk food out or start really limiting it, and I don't mean moderate it to certain amounts every day, I mean moderate it to cheat meals. Okay, you're going to find weight loss and body composition far easier to handle. As far as getting hungry, if you're eating a lot of protein and a lot of vegetables, your appetite's going to be way more managed. Okay, and if the protein's high enough, you're still going to be able to gain muscle and improve your body composition, even if you're losing a little bit of weight and body fat oftentimes. Again, as long as we're strength training. So again, that's really for most people, that's the key. If they simply want a better physique and a better body and to be leaner and more toned and more fit, start lifting weights regularly, right? Make it a regular part of your lifestyle. Massively increase your protein intake and start limiting just junk food in general to maybe a once a week cheat meal or once every 2 week cheat meal. You know, your pizza, your ice creams, or things like that. Limit that stuff to a cheat meal. And make it one meal where you stop there. That's it. For most people, that will get you into shape. It really is that simple. They don't need these crazy fad diets. You don't start needing extreme diets so you're trying to get shredded. Okay? All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.